A request for a video of how to play against, how to defeat, how to beat ShineGreymon came up in one of the comments, and I thought that was a really good one because ShineGreymon it's a really well balanced deck. It's tough to play against. There's so much it does. Let's get into it. I do want to first start talking about why is it good, right? I mean, if you want to know how to defeat or play against a certain deck, you have to understand why it's good in the first place. And, you know, if you don't ever really play against it or use the cards, you're really not going to know until you play it. And then you're like, holy crap. So ShineGreymon really focuses on making your tamers Digimon, right? Like this Agumon here. I'm not going to go too much in depth into it because then it'll get boring. So Agumons, they're either searching, they give you minus DP reduction and allow you to have your Marcuses become Digimon, and now they can swing, and that's where all those effects from Marcuses prop. So this one gives you minus, DP when it suspends, aka when it swings or when it plays. And this Marcus I still think is probably the better one than the other one, just because when it does suspend, you can Digivolve for free. Whereas it's one of your Digimon can Digivolve into a yellow card with Greymon. So making this deck really fast, being able to climb up quick, right? This GeoGreymon got limited, rightfully so, just being able to play a tamer from your security just from Digivolving. It's nuts. The Rise Greymons, what they do, this one plays tamer, but when the Marcus gets deleted, then the Marcuses from the trash go to the top of the security stack, which is just dumb because now you're going to swing with the Marcuses and they're going to have 3000 DP depending on the card that you use, right? So for this one, Agumon it makes them 3000 DP. They swing. ShineGreymon players, we don't care if it gets deleted. As long as you have a Rise Greymon either on the field or as an inherit, that Marcus is just going to go back to security. So now I'm recovering my security stack. And then once you swing into it, you're helping me bring out a Marcus back. So it's tough. It is tough. Then this ShineGreymon makes your tamer a blocker, giving you more options to minus DP. And then ShineGreymon, the BT12, just gives you that aggression, giving your Marcus's security attack +1 and decreasing your DP from your security stack, having your Marcuses survive. The Ruin mode is actually really nice, and this is actually a card that could be used against ShineGreymon because it gives you a blanket minus 5000 DP. So what that means is any Digimon that comes into the field when Digivolving or on deletion in this case. So if I move up a Digimon from the breeding area to the battle area, now it gets that minus 5000 DP and it'll automatically get deleted if it is low enough to hit that threshold of 0 DP. Same thing with other Digimon. So it's a very good card to play. One of my friends was telling me about a Turbo ShineGreymon Ruin mode. I was like, whoa, I haven't heard about it. If you guys heard about it, let me know. Which they're dropping the burst mode to do a full, Ruin mode. And then the burst mode, the whole mechanic is just if you have a tamer on the field, if you meet the requirements, you can return that tamer to the field, Digivolve for free, and then this burst mode lets you play a Marcus for free, gives it rush, and it is also a 12,000 DP Digimon. So it's well-rounded, and then the options, more DP reduction, or let you play tamers. And yeah, so that is in a nutshell what the ShineGreymon deck does and why it's so good. Let's get into before we get into some strategies on how to play against it, let's take a look at some cards that are good against ShineGreymon. Not that they're gonna make you win, but they're definitely not going to be a bad matchup, or they have an uphill battle against you. Starting off with this Metal Greymon X Anybody, I do like it just because when you do Digivolve, it kind of gives you that protection of not having your DP reduced. And combine that with the Black War Greymon, that when you Digivolve, you get to pop tamers. Now you get to pop those Marcuses. Of course, if they don't have any Rice Greymon, so you got to be careful with that. But Black War Greymon is I think it's a good deck to go against. The Arrestor Dramon, you have a lot of tamers, so even if you get all that DP reduction, you're saving all those sources with the save mechanic. So now when you end, you can go into an arrestor in like one turn. You just have a Digimon in your breeding area, bring it up, you reduce it by digivolving, go all the way to arrestor. You get to tuck a shine under a Marcus, and if you get to pop that Marcus, that whole shine is gone. So there's a good things to do with that arrestor. Neo Devimon, I think this card was always good. He's good because of its opponent's turn, right? When an opponent plays a tamer, gain 3 memory. So it kind of forces your opponent to pass turn in a way. If you're going to play Marcus for 3, then now they're going to actually pay 6. So it does slow it down quite a bit. And I do like that Neo Devimon. The inherit, when a tamer does become suspended, you gain 1 memory, and they're all going to suspend when they become Digimon and swing anyway. Numemon, I put Numemon on the board just because it's a fast deck, and it doesn't care if it gets deleted. It's just going to, spam itself and play more Numemons. So I think that's kind of a good matchup as well. There's not many, I don't think there's any blockers. Unless you have the ShineGreymon that gives Marcus blocker, you can just keep swinging and you want stuff and you want Numemons in your trash. Anyway, I was reading Orumon again, and Orumon is actually the when digivolving can come in clutch. When digivolving, if a tamer with Digipolice is in his trade, yada yada, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon or tamers to the bottom of the deck. That's really good because if the Marcus survives and it's suspended, even if it's it goes back to the tamer section, even though there's not a tamer section, or it's not a Digimon anymore. The Orumon, when you bring them out, you could bottom deck that Marcus. So now they're going to have to keep searching, and they won't be able to put it in the security stack. So I think that's pretty good. And then Digipolice on its own, I think, could do fairly well against it because you spam a wide board. And it takes a while for Shine to kind of get rid of things. They could get rid of a big body. So I think the Digipolice would be good against this heavy Leomon, just having Fortitude, digivolving, and sending stuff to the bottom of the deck with 6,000 DP or less. It's heavy Leomon. We already talked about Black Hole Greymon. Metal Etamon actually has the on play the digivolving to leave one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon or Tamers. For each card with Etamon or Sukumon in its name in your trash, add 1 to the maximum of it. So you can Etamon is actually good against it. Again, you can disrupt it by popping the Marcuses. And then on the opponent's turn, you can redirect the attacks to the Metal Etamon. So that way, if they don't have a Rise Greymon and they still try to swing with that Marcus, you can redirect it, having it hit the Metal Etamon, and now they just get deleted. The thing with ShineGreymon is that once the Tamers get deleted, there's no way of the ShineGreymon player to get it back to the hand unless the Rise Greymon is there and it puts it in the security. Keep that in mind. Hexablow, I only put him on here because of his mechanic. Hexablow, I think, it doesn't outpace ShineGreymon, but at least it stops. It could be like a good tech of 1, 2 maybe. It just stops all your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards. They can't attack or block, which is phenomenal for the Marcuses because they become Digimon and they have no sources. So they will not be able to attack, therefore they won't be able to trigger their suspend, or when they attack, or when the tamer suspends, it could digivolve in X, Y, and Z. So, but there's Hexablow. The problem with Hexablow is that there is no protection for it. Amphimon just stripping sources, so if the Rise Greymon is underneath, strip the Rise Greymon, and then you can bottom deck or return, even if you return a ShineGreymon back to the deck, now you're getting rid of that protection for Marcus where it could send itself back to the security stack. Hercules Kabuterimon. I think it's good because if there's DP reduction, so long as a Hercules Kabuterimon is suspended, it can't get triggered by that minus DP reduction. They have to swing over the Hercules Kabuterimon. And I did do a deck profile on this. You can make this Hercules Kabuterimon pretty strong if you tech in the starter deck tie where you switch an attack target gets 2,000 DP. You can make up to like 15,000, 16,000. And you redirect. You could redirect to the Hercules Kabuterimon with the Izzy. So there is another thing as well, which is pretty good. Rosemont, just because it interacts with the tamers as well, they can suspend them and then they can't unsuspend. I'm not sure about the X anybody that does that, but also when, where is it? When an opponent's Digimon moves from the breeding area to the battle area, if Rosemont or X antibodies in its sources, you may suspend one of their Digimon, which could throw them off if they're planning to, go all in with ShineGreymon. So I don't think Bloomlord would be such a good deck to go against Shine because you do a lot of DP reduction and Bloomlord has a lot of bodies on the board that are very low DP, so Shine would be able to just kind of go through it to where the point where you don't have many Digimon that are suspended. The Mega Gargomon Ace, I put this card on here because 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers can't unsuspend or Digivolve. Not that the Marcus is Digivolve, but when you do Digivolve, you can suspend the Marcuses. So now they have to wait an additional turn for them to use the Marcuses and swing and proc off their effects. And at that point, you can then suspend the ShineGreymon, delete it, and now there you go. Then we got Belphemon. Belphemon is good because you can stop your opponent from attacking by trashing cards, which kind of the whole thing of the Belphemon. And then, of course, just not being affected by your opponent's effects, the Belphemon, it just works, right? So now they can't reduce your DP because it is from an effect. Although that does wear off, but it doesn't really matter because then when you go into the Rage mode, you kind of pop all level 5s. Is it level 5s? By deleting, where is it? Where is it, damn it? Level 5 or lower, there it is. When delete all your opponents level 5 or lower, and then you get DP increase and security attack plus. So Belphemon is also can be good on that. Again, it just really depends on the pacing, right? If you brick, then you're kind of a uphill battle. Leviamon, I did put him on here because there is cards, for example, Burst Mode, that plays the Marcus as a Digimon that would trigger Biting Crush. Therefore, now you can play the Leviamon, and then Leviamon deletes a high level and a low level, which would pop the Tamer and the Shine at the same time. The Agumon does not play it. So the Agumon here turn one of your Marcuses into a Digimon. It doesn't play it, so it would not work for the biting crush for Leviamon. But this Leviamon X antibody as well, when you just Digivolve, you can pop one of your opponent's Tamers. And ShineGreymon is going to have a wide board. Not so much Digimon, but Tamers. So your Leviamon is always going to have less Digimon and or Tamers than your opponent. Therefore, you'll be able to always kind of proc your when Digivolving effects. Emperor Greymon, it's fast. It hits hard. It doesn't check options. And you want cards in your trash. So even if your opponent decreases, Digivolution, they kind of swing 3 checks. Now they're just helping you build up. So now when you burst from the Takuya, going into the Emperor Greymon, delete it, and now you can just do all those checks and then Omni for game. So Emperor Greymon is just a well-rounded deck. Quartz helps quite a bit because now you're just suspending all your opponent's Digimon and or Tamers, and they can't unsuspend, and then you trash for every 5 on the field your opponent's security stack. Death X, you're just punishing them by having wide boards. They Digivolve all your opponent's Digimon, which could be good if you do Digivolve that Rise Greymon. So now if that Marcus gets deleted, then it just goes to the trash. Ruin Mode, I already talked about it. It's just giving that blanket 5000 DP. Hades Force, just being able to wipe your opponent's potential board. In this case, deleting all those Marcuses. So Hades Force late game, with no Rise Greymon on the field, that protects the Marcuses. Just think about it. There's 4 Marcuses on the field. They run 8. You already got rid of 4. They can't get it back. So Hades is nuts. Well, then you would have to actually meet the criteria to delete all. So maybe you'll delete 2 or 3. Startling Thunder just returns Tamers to the hand. And then Biting Crush, which we already talked about. Now, when you are playing against Shine, I kind of already talked about how you would play against it. But really, you want to be in the breeding area and kind of setting yourself up. ShineGreymon is kind of that deck where you kind of want to 1-2 it. Because if you leave something on the board, it's going to get DP reduction. So unless you got protection from it or your DP is just way too massive that they can't, delete it by DP reduction, then that'll be good. But wait till there's no Rise Greymons for you to delete Marcuses. Try to always keep them a champion so they don't go into Rise or even Shine. And that's pretty much it. It's more of experience at this point playing against Shine. I would recommend just, I actually do my own decks and I actually, use them against each other, and that's how I find out a lot of, what works, what doesn't work. So I'm not gonna lie, I spend like hundreds of hours just doing that and just figuring out, okay, this works, this doesn't work. Let me take that out. Okay, this actually does work. And then, that is a video for ShineGreymon. Another one that was requested was a Hunters. How do you deal with Hunters? We'll do that video next, so make sure you are subscribed to watch that one and watch these other ones, and I'll catch you on the next video.